What's going on? Ryan here, triathlon.com, and I'm going to come at you in this video and talk to you about IRONMAN Chattanooga, the event vibes. And what I mean by that is kind of the atmosphere around the race in Chattanooga in general, and kind of give you my perspective, my take on. I've done the half once, I've done the full 4 times. Stayed in different places, stayed in hotels, Airbnbs, and all kinds of different places. Stayed on the North Shore, stayed downtown, pretty close to downtown and outside of town. So I've got a wide variety of experiences. I've done it in groups, I've done it by myself, and just overall wanted to share kind of what the experience is like in Chattanooga. Just if you're looking at the race, you're thinking, well, should I pull the trigger, should I not pull the trigger, what's it like out there? Did somebody tell me about Chattanooga and the race in general? I'm here to tell you a little bit about it. So you can see it scrolling here in the background, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Google Maps, and you see this starred little places of different little things that I've been there and parked and wherever I had to do. But I wanted to kind of point out, when I first started out where the race is actually kind of located at, and it's by the Tennessee Aquarium. It's at Ross's Landing here, and Chattanooga on the greens right here, but this is where main attraction while the activity happens. Your transition area is set up over here in this paid parking lot over by the baseball field. This Chattanooga on the greens where IRONMAN Village is at. And I did the race the first year in 2014 when the full started, and I did it in 2022. Time that's recording this video is 2023. I've had several athletes do it. So I've been there, done that since the beginning basically, and there's a few things that I like about the race in general. The course has minorly changed. The bike course has pretty much been the same the entire time, unless there's been construction on the roads. And 2022 when I did it, all the roads are in the best condition that I've done this race in. There have been different times where different areas and sections have been paved and better than others, and I think I saw somewhere where they're actually paving the section that you go through town, because when you hit transition after the swim, you have to bike kind of through town to get to outside of town to do all the rides in the mountain area, whatever. But I think 2023 will be one of the best times ever for road conditions. So I'm just saying, putting that out there. But overall, everything's contained. Like the bike course has changed maybe a little bit over the years with construction and different things going on. The run course has changed just a little bit, but the challenging Barton Hill and all that kind of stuff has stayed on there pretty much the entire time. It's just kind of the directions have changed a little bit on the south side of the river and where you're going. But overall, it's a great venue because you know where everything's at. You know where transition's at, you know where IRONMAN Village is at. There's plenty of parking down there. So you can park usually pretty close as long as you're patient. You drive around the first spot here in the parking area. I've done different videos you can see here on the left side of all the different things that's there for you to do, for kids to do, families to do, all kinds of other stuff. There's plenty of restaurants to eat. There's things to do downtown. There's movie theaters. So if you want to, take a load off your feet, you want to entertain the family, you can go see a movie. Might be a little counterintuitive to take a vacation and go see a movie, but it's there. Some years it's pretty hot, so if you're looking for something indoors to do, you can go see a movie. But like I said, the aquarium's there. There's all kinds of different things, and there's plenty of things to do in IRONMAN Village. Right by IRONMAN Village, there's lots of Cold Stone ice cream. I am a frequent flyer there, especially after the race. If I can finish before they close, which usually I can get that done before 9 o'clock at night, go over there and have my post-race ice cream. It's the best thing ever. That's always what keeps me going for the race. But like I said, they've got tons of food options. They got Mexican, they got pizza, they got American food, they got bar food, they got street food, they got all kinds of different Italian, all different kinds of places. The proximity of everything in relation to where the race is going on. Last year in 2022, I stayed a little bit south. You can go down the main street here, and there was a hotel. Let's see if I can remember where it was. I know this makes for great, entertaining video if I can find out. But basically, it was a little less than a mile away from River Street. But basically, I walked down Market Street. I could walk straight down, or maybe it was a street over, So basically, I could walk down and be dumped right out into the transition area, and I basically parked my car there the entire time. I didn't have to drive anywhere. It was a nice, easy walk. I think a little bit around a mile or so. So the opportunities there. You can get hotels. You can stay right. I mean, there's the courtyard. There's all kinds of other things right downtown that you can stay. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for that access, but pay, park. You don't have to go anywhere. Ironman Village is right there. Transition's right there. When you take your bike in, it's right there. The only thing that you're going to have to be bussed out for is the swim start, but you don't need to drive out there. You just show up to Transition, ride the bus over to the start, down up the Tennessee River, and they take you and they dump you off, and then everything's right here. So if you have family in town, you can stay at the hotel. They can go there and they can chill out while you're on your 5, 6, 7, 8 hour bike ride or whatever you're doing out there. They've got plenty of entertainment. They got like rock wall climbing walls, all kinds of other stuff going on. They got restaurants, like I said, for the family. So when you're coming back in, they can come out and see you in Transition, and then they can go catch you on the run because, I mean, it goes through here twice. They can catch you on the bridge. It's just very convenient for the athletes, for the spectators, and really, like I said, I've stayed on the North Shore for the 70.3, and there's really not a problem just to catch one of the bridges, come over and park. Like I said, there's plenty of parking as long as you're a little bit, I get there usually when Transition opens, and parking's not a problem for me. So there's plenty, even if you get there a little bit later. But down the street here, there's plenty of parking garages, whatever. Usually on Sunday, you don't have to pay. I go ahead and pay just to make sure I'm on the safe side of things. So you can be on the North Shore, and you can come and go to the race. If you're on the North Shore, you will have to drive over here and park. It's really not a convenient way, and it's kind of a little bit of a hike if you try to walk over something like that. But there's plenty, like I've stayed at Airbnbs further on down, and driven down there, or like I said, I stayed at a hotel, and it was pretty affordable. Not like one of the close ones, but one of the ones maybe a mile away from downtown. Pretty decent area. A little coffee shop right by. There's like little stores and stuff I could walk to get groceries and stuff. It wasn't like Dillon's Price Chopper Hy-Vee that we have here in Kansas City, but it was a nice, just a neighborhood little market. Be able to get everything I need. I was all set up and ready to go. Hotel had everything else I needed. A little mini fridge. I was good to go. It's just been renovated, so it's a nice area, nice condition, and all that kind of stuff. So I say all this to say that as far as like the access, the convenience, the accessibility of everything, super convenient. There's only one transition area. There's not two. You don't have to go out to a different swim start area. Everything's right there. You could just set up shop. I did it in 2022. Stayed at the hotel, walked everywhere. Didn't have to drive my car anywhere. It was super nice. The weather was actually somewhat nice too, so that wasn't as much of a problem. But I mean, if you walk downtown, there's tall enough buildings, some shade, some other stuff. So it is a little bit hot, a little bit sunny. You can walk through and find shade, and it's really not that big of a deal. But walk down on race day without a problem, and checked in and did all that kind of stuff too, and then walked my stuff back after the race. It was really super convenient. But I have done it in the past, like I said, where I've stayed in Airbnb. Actually, first year in 2014, kind of stayed a little bit away from downtown. So I did have a little bit of a drive, but really wasn't that big of a deal. It was a little bit of a pain. It was probably 25 minute drive or whatever, but really getting there, getting parking wasn't a problem. I didn't have to drive around forever, but getting there to get checked in and then coming back, drop your bike gear and all that other stuff off. That's just having to go back and forth, a little bit of a pain. So if you have the possibility of the affordability of staying within this little loop circle area downtown, I definitely would look into that. It just takes a lot of less stress off if you have to drive and park and walk to parking and all that kind of stuff. You just walk to where you're going to go. There's plenty of restaurants, plenty of places to stay, plenty of options. And as far as the atmosphere of town goes, pretty much downtown, they know about Ironman, they know about the race, they know about everything going on, and they are more than happy to have you there, and it's a great time. And North Shores, they kind of get on board too a little bit, but they're not as involved downtown because a lot of the action going on downtown, not necessarily on the North Shore, but on race day, North Shore, man, everybody's filling those bars up, and they know what's going on because people are camped out in those bars, especially in the patios, and hooting and hollering at you as you're running by and keeping you motivated, looking up your bib numbers, yelling at your name, and you're sitting there trying to figure out, do I know those people, and let me help you out. No, you don't know those people. They're spectators there. Some heckle you a little bit, and some are just there to have fun at the time. But that's when the North Shore kind of fires up when this race is happening, especially when we're clogging up traffic a little bit. So traffic is going down to a crawl. Some people aren't as thrilled and happy about it, but overall, the North Shore kind of gets their glory on race day when we're out there running through the neighborhoods and stuff. But for the most part, especially when we're doing our loop here, you know, when you're going up Barton Avenue and you're doing this little loop here in this area, you are running through some pretty nice neighborhoods and stuff. And some neighbors will just come out and they'll be camping out the end of the driveway, coolers for you. I've been offered a beer. I really don't feel like beer at mile 20 on the run, but it's there for you. Some have their sprinklers out. If it's a hot day, little kids are out there cheering you on. It's pretty great atmosphere. As far as that run course goes, everybody's there. Everybody's trying to support you the best as possible. Really, there are very few sections where you're running through and you're like, man, I am all alone. There's nobody else out here. When you're out here on the trail system, kind of running back in the transition area to do your other loops, it can be a little bit, I guess lonely is not probably the proper word, but kind of singled out a little bit because there's no access necessarily for spectators, but it's very few small sections that you're really out of touch with other people and access to spectators and everything. But other than that, I mean, I would say like 85% of the course, you've got spectators, you've got people out there supporting you and yelling for you and stuff like that. So race support, especially on the run course, is great. Swim course is pretty great because, yeah, you just jump in the river and basically you float down the river and hit transition usually, and it's not a problem. So coming out here and everything, you know, Ironman Village, transition area, I mean, that place is just packed with spectators all day long. It's tons of energy going on out there, so that's awesome. The bike course, you know, once you get kind of in the rural parts, it is a little, sometimes the country people, and rightfully so, sometimes you see a lot of garbage out there. People unfortunately ditching their goo wrappers or their foot bars or base bars or Hertz bars, whatever you see. Unfortunately, people discard the wrappers. Just make sure you take your trash. And unfortunately, there's kind of water bottles everywhere. And I know there's instances where the locals are a little frustrated because the race week, people are out there riding a bike and they're maybe not necessarily paying close attention to the rules of the road and being mindful of the cars out there and stuff. So on race day, they're a little bit perturbed at times. But I personally have never run into an instance where a local has like done anything stupid to a cyclist or anything out there during the race. So generally, they'll tolerate us being out there. I mean, the roads are great. Once we go through the certain little sections, especially when you're going through where special needs drop is, if I could find that real quick, which I don't want to take up a bunch of time trying to look through the Lookout Mountain. Oh, where'd it go? But basically, when you're going through and you do you hit the here, let's do this while we are watching. We'll actually do a little bit of helpful review. If you ever have any questions, you can always go to the course maps, check that out. Bike course. So where the special needs drop is when you're going through personal needs. They're always making sure that we know where that's at. So when you look at that, you are at Chickamauga is where you're at. So if I can find, like I said, I've done this race several times, but unfortunately, if I had to go out there and find my way around, I probably need my map. So Chickamauga is where your personal needs stop is. And when you go through there, it's actually pretty cool. It's a small little town area and there's tons of spectators, tons of support. It's a nice, when you're out here doing these loops, it's a nice little respite. Because out here, I mean, other than us out there riding, there's really not anything else going on. There's small little towns here and there. There's small little sections where you got spectators stuff hanging out. But overall, it's just nice countryside. In 2022, it did rain on us for about 70 miles on my bike ride. But again, the roads were in good condition, so it really wasn't a problem. Just go be safe and go slow. But Chickamauga is really nice because they come out, they support it. That's a big thing for them. They're all about it. So they're out there in huge numbers out there to support you as well. So I know I've talked for a minute, but I just wanted to explore the race course. The swim is great. The bike course is pretty good. The roads are in pretty good condition. You get pretty solid support as far as from locals, from spectators, and the race organizers. The run course, I mean, there's people out on the course pretty much everywhere except for the little trail sections by the river, where there's just not really access for spectators. Really, people are everywhere. The vibe is great on race day. Really, everybody gets into it, especially there. Any place on the course is pretty much all over it. Like I said, downtown, they're pretty much, they advertise, they want you there, they want your business, all that kind of fun stuff. Once you start getting out of downtown, you'll start seeing some signs and stuff, especially when Little Debbie was one of the sponsors. It may be a little bit less now these days, but they do know what's going on, and you'll see some signs here and there and stuff. And if you stay at a hotel, like I stayed outside of town here on Highway 24, I mean, they had signs that says welcome Ironman racers and all that kind of stuff. So they know what's going on. They definitely want to make sure they're catering to the event and to the athletes and things. But for the most part, they know that you're going to be going downtown. You're not going to be like hanging out necessarily in town. I did eat dinner out a few times where I was at locally, so I did kind of spread the tourist dollars around a little bit. But overall, downtown, if you're staying down there, there's athletes everywhere. There's things going on specifically for the race, and you'll definitely be welcome there, and they want you there, and it's very exciting, very fun, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, there's creative, there's Discovery Museum, there's indoor stuff to do if it's hot, there's outdoor stuff if the weather's nice, and really, I don't think you can go wrong necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of things to do. Like I said, I've posted a video on some other things to do outside of town. There's things to do for families, there's things to do for me when I came by myself and a single person. I had a nice hotel room. I did my work there, or I found a coffee shop and did my work there, or I hung out at the Ironman Village and helped with the Come One tent because of one of the coaches. Just did several different things. I just run on the course. It was nice staying pretty close. You could run down and run the course and be there. Ride your bike around town to get the kinks worked out and everything. It's really, for the events that I've done, it's really up there as far as the atmosphere and everything, and that's why I probably keep coming back. If someone said, is Chattanooga, Tennessee big on your tourism list? I'd be like, hell no, not really. But people said, what race you want to do? It's like, Ironman Chattanooga is always up there because, like I said, it's a great location. There's tons of things there to do, great access, great everything, great people, great vibes. The race director is pretty awesome. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, on the race. Like I said, the locals, they're a little bit iffy when you're out there doing your pre-race rides, and as long as you pay attention to the road, keep your trash yourself, usually there's not problems. So just be mindful of that. But that's really the only thing outside of that. So I would definitely give Ironman Chattanooga, as far as the vibe go, a big thumbs up. And if you're looking for a really good experience, the race usually goes to capacity or sells out. There's tons of people, so if you want to geek out on Ironman and triathlon, this is definitely the race to be at, because there's a lot of geeking out going on, especially on Ross's Landing, and especially at the Chattanooga Green where Ironman Village is. There is so much Ironman and triathlon geekery going on. You will just soak it up. It's a great place to be, great atmosphere. You be around like-minded people until you're blue in the face, and you should get your fill. And once the race is over, finish line, get your medal. Next day at home, all that good fun stuff. So hopefully this gave you some good information for Ironman Chattanooga, especially about the event, the vibes, and just kind of what the atmosphere is like. With all my videos, if you're seeing us on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, put a comment if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you with any information I may or may not have. Search up my YouTube channel. I've got plenty of Ironman Chattanooga information about the courses, the venue, the area, the weather, places to stay, things to do, all that kind of fun stuff. So I've got that on there too. So make sure you like it on Facebook. This helps me out if you're seeing it there. Like and subscribe on YouTube, especially for future notifications of other videos on Chattanooga, other courses, or just training tips in general. So with that, I want to wrap up this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If you got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll talk to you.